a highly requested and long-awaited video. Finally, what is in my camera bag? Welcome everybody. If you're new around here, my name is Jason, and I have pretty much been vlogging my life for the better part of the last 10 years. And this previous year, after graduating from university, has been my first time going all in full-time creative. What that means is that the gear I used to buy and keep for hobby purposes has now transitioned into my job. So today I wanted to finally share with you guys all the camera gear I use to create these cinematic vlogs and document my life, as well as any tools for freelance or client work, and everything else I carry in my camera bag on a day-to-day basis. So let's get into it. Starting off with the actual bag itself, this is a Wandered Provoke 31 liter. I've used many other bags in the past. I used a Brevity Jumper. I loved it. It was just a little small. I also started out with a cheaper beginner bag. I think it was called the Vanguard VO. I actually really liked it. It just kind of fell apart on me after about 2 years. I would say it's probably the largest size bag I could comfortably fit underneath the seat in front of me when I'm sitting on an airplane. It's got that super rugged, waterproof build, and it holds everything I need. I rarely find myself holding more than 31 liters of camera gear when I'm out on a shoot. Next up, camera gear. Probably the question that I get asked the most on this channel is what camera are you shooting on and what lens is that? As of now, I own 2 real cameras. The first one, my main workhorse, is my Sony ZV-E1. This has actually been a recent pickup for myself. I've only had it for about 2 or 3 months. I got it used on Marketplace with a fat $1,000 discount, which is very nice. The seller, the guy that sold me this camera, actually mentioned that his wife or partner watches my YouTube videos, which I thought was pretty interesting. Ever since I upgraded to this camera, I use it for all of my YouTube work as well as any client work that I'm shooting. The camera came with this small rig cage, which I actually don't get that much use out of because I typically don't rig out my cameras, but I will say the fatter grip does help because this ZV-E1 is actually such a small camera. The other camera that I use, the one I'm filming on right now, is my trusty Sony a6700. My tried and true, the camera that I built my entire platform off of. It has been with me for so long. I hit my first 10, 20, and 30K subscribers with it. Even after upgrading, I really didn't want to sell it because I just love this camera so much, and I think it actually is the perfect camera for so many creators. Even this upgrade probably wasn't really necessary for my career. It was more so that I kind of just wanted a change and better low light performance. That's really the only improvement here. And the lens that I have on this is a Sony 20-70 f4. Now you might be wondering, why not get the 24-70 f2.8, the classic lens? Why did I choose an f4 lens? Well, I chose it because primarily I am a YouTube vlogger. I make YouTube videos. I'm doing a lot of this when I'm out filming, which means that the extra 4mm actually really matters. I think that if you have a 24-70, although great lens, I think 24 is just not enough for vlogging with your arm out, especially if you have shaky footage and you want to stabilize it afterwards. 24, not enough. On the other hand, 20mm is just on the cusp of what I would say is acceptable for vlogging, where you get a good amount of your face as well as the background in the shot. And because YouTube vlogs, YouTube videos are mainly what I'm shooting, I was okay with sacrificing the f2.8. This camera also shares the same exact sensor as the FX3, which means that it basically sees in the dark once you push it to 12,800 ISO. So being able to push the ISO super far in combination with an f4 lens usually doesn't mean that I'm in any need of extra light. I also run an ND filter on this. This is a 3:7 CPL and VND combo from Freewell, I believe. I'm a big fan of it for the quality of glass, but I will say having a 3:7 isn't as useful to me as maybe a 2:5 or a 1:4. I feel like starting an ND filter at 3 stops is a little bit extreme for the types of vlogging scenarios that I find myself in. Fun fact about the philosophy behind the way I shoot, I really want to just grab shots as fast as possible with 0 friction. And a lot of times that means just leaving the ND filters on. For the video right now, I actually put this lens cover on, but typically I run no lens covers because I just kind of treat the ND filter as a lens cover, and just this like extra half second sometimes does slow you down and you miss the shot. So my ND filters are basically on 99% of the time, and I typically would rather just crank the ISO and do some stuff in post than to actually have to stop and remove the ND filter. My go-to vlogging lens is a Sony 11mm f1.8 prime lens. Probably one of the more impactful purchases I made along my YouTube journey. I really needed something small and lightweight, and once I was able to slap this tiny prime lens onto my already really small APS-C camera, I just had this killer camera combo that allowed me to bring my camera everywhere and shoot amazing, amazing videos. f1.8, very good for low light. 11mm, a perfect wide angle for vlogging. And since it's the same lens mount and this is an APS-C lens, when you put it on the full frame camera, you get that really really cool and trendy vignette. This is my trusty 17-70mm f2.8 lens. Because I have two cameras, I don't find myself using this lens as much, but sometimes for like a secondary B cam. Super solid lens, it's a third-party Tamron lens. I've never had any issues with autofocus or stabilization. I know these are things that people always talk about when it comes to non-native lenses. I actually used to walk around with this lens and vlog, and first of all, it didn't look that good because it was way too zoomed in, and secondly, when you punched in, it was so front heavy. I actually dropped the entire camera once because I set it up on a tripod on top of a fridge, turned away for a second, and when I looked back, my camera was falling down and I completely shattered this lens. I have a K&F 2-32 ND filter on here. That is a 1 to 5 stop ND, and I think that is actually my personal favorite range for an ND filter. Compared to this ND filter, this one here is like a fraction of the cost, and it basically does about 99% of the same work. So between those two bodies and these three lenses, that's pretty much all of the real heavy hitter equipment that I use day to day to make these videos. Digging a little deeper, the next set of cameras that I use to make these videos are typically supplementary to these main guys, and the one that is king that I find myself using so much and even more these days now that I'm vlogging a lot more is my iPhone. This is not even the newest iPhone or anything. This is a 16 Pro. Yes, it shoots Apple log, which makes color grading very fun, but the file sizes are way too big, so I actually just found myself defaulting back to regular iPhone footage, which to be honest, still color grades really, really well. I don't know what they're feeding iPhones these days, but this thing is amazing, and the best part is this thing fits in my pocket, and I always have it with me, so I find myself using this more and more every single day. Other cameras that I have in my arsenal but don't typically see that much use include my drone. This is still the DJI Mini 2. Ancient technology at this point, but it still flies and it works. The only problem I have with it now is that sometimes the signal gets lost when I'm flying it in the city, so I don't really do that anymore. And also, if you've been a long-time viewer of this channel, you know that ever since I got pulled up on by the Secret Service for flying my drone, I'm a lot more wary of where I'm flying this thing now. My only miniature or action camera at this moment is the Insta360 X5. I like the idea of 360 cameras, and I think the footage that comes out of them is really, really cool. I just don't think I do enough cool stuff to fully put this to use, but next time I go skiing at the end of March, I will be using this. Now, equally as important as cameras and lenses is audio equipment, and for that, I use two different microphones. My primary shotgun microphone is this Rode Video Micro. This is actually ancient technology. I bought this in 2018 or maybe 2017, way before I even owned a camera, because this thing was $50 at the time, and that was about all I could afford. I love this piece of gear, but honestly, I just can't recommend it because it's so old and there are so many better options out there. The audio out of this thing is like a 7 out of 10. It's just all right. There's no noise cancellation, no different sound profiles. You cannot change the directionality of it. It is literally just a microphone on a little shock mount with a little wind muff. Fun fact, this thing is called a dead cat. It goes on your microphone to cut wind noise, and yes, it gets a lot of stares, and everybody wants to pet this thing when I go out. The other mic, and the one I'm using right now, is my DJI Mic 2. I bought them like a month before the Mic 3s came out, so a little upset, but honestly, the Mic 2s do everything I need them to do. Sound quality on this is probably like an 8 or 9 out of 10. If you're looking to do any sort of client work, documentary work, YouTube work, I would probably say wireless mics are a mandatory purchase now. I have it clipped to my shirt right here. Also, just for audio monitoring purposes, I use these IEMs. They plug right into the receiver of the DJI Mic 2s, and I can just listen to what my audio sounds like as I'm shooting. Very, very helpful for documentary work. And then if I want to hide the mics a little bit better, I use these DJI lav mics. The sound quality on these are probably like a 5 out of 10, but they were like $30. Surprisingly, all that audio equipment fits into this little pouch, and this just goes straight into my backpack. Also, on the topic of audio, I have two primary headphones. These ones a little bit more serious, great for travel, very good noise cancellation. If I really need to lock in and I'm at a cafe or I'm traveling or I'm outside, these are the ones I'm using. Sony XM4s, great for work, music, editing, working out, all of the above. AirPods, basically the exact same use case, just smaller and more convenient. On the editing side of things, I run my entire operation on this M4 Pro MacBook Pro. For the longest time, I was a Windows user. I swore by building your own PCs. I even built a new PC in 2024, and then I sold it right before RAM prices skyrocketed, so I don't regret it because I sold it to a friend, but anyways, don't think about it. When I finally made the hard decision and took the risk of becoming a full-time creative, I bought this MacBook as a way of pushing myself forward. I saw it as investing in my future, and also I just wanted a machine for work, and of course I also wanted to be able to travel and work remotely, and you definitely need a laptop for that. M4 Pro 48 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte of storage. But when I am on the go and I need more storage, I use SSDs. This one is a 1 terabyte Samsung T5. That is a sticker my brother made of our dog. Also Samsung, a little bit more temporary. This is actually my friend's. I need to return this to her. And this is a 2 terabyte M.2 SSD enclosure. Very technical, but basically instead of buying like a off-the-shelf SSD like this, you buy the enclosure, you buy the actual SSD stick itself, build it yourself, and you actually end up with like 3x the speed that these things offer for actually a cheaper price. But there is a major size difference, and this is mainly for client work. Some other little things here and there, the charger for my computer. I'm happy to announce that finally I am USB-C everything, but when I do have space, I do like to bring the MagSafe charger, but I've gone on full trips with just one of these bricks and a single USB cable. This right here is an SSD enclosure. It's actually by SanDisk, but I just put some other stickers over it because I didn't really like the look of it. I just keep my SD cards in here because they are so easy to lose. They're so small. For the actual cards, I typically use these SanDisk Extreme Pros. Now for the last few compartments in this bag, this stuff typically rotates depending on what I'm actually doing, but here's a look into some of the more reoccurring items. When I'm out vlogging, obviously I don't want to only hold the camera in my hand. I want to be able to set it down and grab unique shots. The classic place your camera down, walk past it, walk back. And for those, my tripod has been my Manfrotto Pixie Mini. This thing is equally as old as the Rode Video Micro microphone that I use. About 8 years now. The ball head is quite loose. It's tiny, it's about the size of my hand, which makes it really, really convenient when I'm out vlogging in the city. This is a phone mount, phone clamp from SmallRig. This is the Logitech MX Master. My dad swears by these, and of course, it's kind of the go-to productivity mouse now. I have all my editing gestures and keybinds set up, so when I edit without this, I'd probably say I'm losing out on like 50% productivity. SSDs go in there. 2 pockets up here. Oh yes, in this little pocket up here, I carry a multi-tool. This is actually a Transformers branded multi-tool that I received as some PR over Christmas. It's your classic Allen keys, screwdrivers, one of those things that you don't think you need until you need it. Helpful for like mounts, tripods, those types of things. In this pocket, a microfiber cloth for cleaning my glasses and also my lenses. Like mentioned, I don't really like to use lens caps, so my lenses and ND filters get very, very dirty. On the side of this bag, I think here you're supposed to store batteries and SD cards, but I just actually keep an air tag. Obviously, if this bag were to get stolen or I lost it, it would suck. It would really suck. And that's about it for the inside of this bag. Kind of what this bag is known for. You have this roll top, which expands to, I think, add another 5 liters to your bag. Up here, I don't really keep too much camera gear. It's more of like day-to-day things, a shirt, a sweater, my water bottle. And living in the city, I have this reusable bag from Baggu. It's like Snoopy themed. No matter what I'm doing, I like to keep this in my bag in case I go grocery shopping or something happens and I just need a bag to carry stuff. Going along with personal things, obviously my wallet and a portable charger because I like to use my phone. This one is from Anker, 10,000 milliamps. Even sometimes on flights, I fly Air Canada and I just feel like it's like a 50-50% chance that the outlet at your seat just doesn't work, so very helpful for traveling. On the side here is my water bottle / tripod holder. I don't find myself shooting on sticks too much these days. I can usually get away with just this mini tripod. This one is from Newer. It's called the LT32. It's light enough, it's carbon fiber. I've traveled with it. It's also a quick release plate, which I very much enjoy. So when I do need it, it kind of just sits right there. Last but not least, this front zipper pocket, which holds a pen and my notebook because I've really been enjoying taking physical notes recently. These are both from Muji. I did my entire university degree using only Muji pens, and pretty much every single video idea or project that I've done in the last few years has seen its time in this notebook. So I like to have this with me, easily accessible if I need to build out or write down some new ideas. I purchased this gear cabinet at the end of the year just to help me organize all of the gear I have. And from top to bottom, it pretty much goes most important to least important gear, or I guess most frequently used to least frequently used. And all the gear that I showed you guys and talked about today is really the most commonly used gear. There are lots of other pieces of gear that I do use to create these videos that deserve some honorable mentions. First, my very large collection of like magic arms, suction mounts, clamps, those types of things. This space, my apartment, my studio space, isn't really that big, about 568 square feet, which means that on camera, I'd like the space to look bigger than it is. So mounting with a suction cup to the roof with a wide angle lens is a really nice way to get establishing shots. I also have even more hard drives in here, another 4 terabyte, a 12 terabyte, like rigs, camera lights, more mounts, more chargers, gimbals too. I don't always shoot with the gimbal, but definitely one of those pieces of gear where time and place it's necessary. But for the most part, that is about all the gear I use to create these videos. Everything that I typically keep in this backpack when I'm out shooting, I will have everything linked in the description below so you can go and check it out. If you have any more questions about camera gear or gear that I use, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Camera gear is always such an interesting topic because although, yes, gear doesn't matter, it is really fun to experiment with new gear. I'm sure the tools that I'm using today to tell these stories are not going to be the same tools I use in 5 years' time, but for now, this is everything I use to document my life and make these cinematic vlogs.